Why would you go 4,000 kilometers south when you're trying to head north? Well, we'll answer that question today. The best way to take in this magical island of Mauritius is to get out and explore. We start from our hotel, which is near the beach. Oh yeah, breakfast first. We'll get on a bus a little later, and here's a sneak peek.
Hi, we are Olga and Daniel.
Our pleasant journeys.
We backpack all over the world. It's an open-ended trip with many twists and turns.
Olga's the active one. I make movies and like coffee yoga. And these are
Our pleasant journeys. Kind of cool, huh? Little canals. And then we've got the beach over there. Okay, this is Petty Bear, public beach. I ran here, it was 4.5 kilometers. It's not busy. Looks wonderful for swimming and snorkeling. Now when I run, I don't bring my stuff because I can't carry it. But this is the Explorer. And so far this beach I like the best. So that's great. Gonna go swim, find a spot to sit and hang out. Here's another little view of Petty Bear Beach. I guess a whole bunch of dogs just came. Maybe they'll come and follow me out here to this point. I am just sort of exploring my way around and see if I can get back to the next little beach that I saw on the way back. Wow. All right. I'm going to clean my feet. Put the shoes and socks back on and see if I can get over there. Hello, little dove. It just landed and I made my way across this lava field, really. And look at this magnificent places to swim. And then another glorious little beach, which I may jump in. That's what I'm doing today. Just gonna go and have a little fun while I make my way back to Grand Bay. Look at that. Wow.
Okay, day 2. I'm out for my morning walk. Olga was out early. Went to explore Petty Bear Beach. She arrived, and last I heard, she was heading for the water. We're in Grand Bay. in the north of Mauritius. It's an incredibly beautiful island. I love it. Drivers are a little zany, but a lot less traffic than Hawaii. The interesting mix of cultures here. This is a Hindu temple coming up on the left, and our landlady is Muslim, and we've heard French-speaking people, Africans, very friendly. We've ridden the buses. And the color in the sky, and especially when it reflects on the water, is just amazing here, the play of light. It's warm. It's not hot, but it's warm. It's the end of the rainy season. We've had showers. Snack cooling. I don't know what the snacks are. I looked in there yesterday, and actually I did some shopping in here. My destination is up here, where the guy I met sells the dal puri. Dal, which is a making. Puri is like a fried bread, but here it's made a lot larger and flatter, and they use it kind of like a wrap. I'm gonna try to make my way across. I'm gonna have to do it without the camera because traffic. This is my friend Shiva that I met yesterday.
From India.
Hello, sister. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
And they are making the dals over here, and these are the puri, but they're a little different than Indian puri. They're not frying them, they're cooking them on a big pan, and then they put dal and sabji on them and make a wonderful wrap. And I'm going to experience that very soon. Woohoo! I'm at a jewelry store. It's mostly silver, it looks like, and we used to look at this stuff an awful lot, but the price of silver has gone up so high that I imagine it's a little bit oppressive for people, unless they're not buying gold and they're now buying silver. Olga still appreciates stylish things, having been a jeweler herself at an earlier time. It says gold, but there's nothing in the window. Anytime I can capture the color of the sky in these photos, it's just so dramatic. So blue and clear, beautiful. It is cloud covered today. Maybe we'll get a shower again. In the meantime, I'm walking out in the direction that Olga went. Maybe I'll meet her on her way back. Chez Malini Florista. Okay, that's some kind of flower shop. Found a proper fruit and vegetable stand, and I'm not going to get things now, but when we come back, get some tomatoes and garlic and maybe a sweet potato and some fresh carrots to put in the next soup. Oh, they even have a big cabbage. Okay, it's going to be great. I don't know this one, concombre blanc, unless that's cucumber. Beautiful lemon. All right. Shops are all along the way. Little boutiques, factory shop, colorful buildings,
Beautiful sky.
It's our first time here to Mauritius, and I like it. Olga, she's always interested in being near the water, and we are looking to see if we can find a long-term situation, 1 month, 2 months, maybe a flat or a studio, and we'll be investigating that. That's part of the sketching for coming back to a place once we find a place we like. Here's one here, Panda Express guest house.
Well, we know Panda Express, but I didn't know it was a guest house. Gonna check it out. Sorry, Panda, that was a bust. I did get up and get it to look around, but the owners are Chinese and it was just lost in translation. Maybe with some customer support, we could figure it out. The neighborhood's okay and it's not far from the beach. I'll continue on and hope to meet up with Olga. And in the next 10 seconds, I am at the beach. It's just beautiful. Love the setting. I'm sure people have to go through their daily struggles. If you're not independently wealthy or retired like we are, then you have to deal with the pains and the duties of the day. That's good too. It all yields a result. But to live in a beautiful environment, I don't think we can grasp the significance of that and the gratitude that we should have. So the other end of town we had a mosque. Nope. Here we have a mosque. The other end of town we had a temple. It's Eid Mubarak, that was last week. So Ramadan's finished. And I think it means happy eating.
And this is where I meet Olga on the street. She's been to Caravan Beach and back. We'll compare notes and see where we end up later.
Not much sidewalk, but we have felt pretty safe. This is the way back from the beach, and now we're starting to see some tourists coming in, maybe arriving for the weekend.
We got a second attempt at Panda Express and met a wonderful lady, Jessica, saw the studio, and got a monthly price that we're considering.
That's a look and the sound of rain in the tropics. Blue sky off in the distance, the clouds are directly above us. And it just turns on, it dumps. For who knows how long, but they said this is the tail end of the rainy season. Surely makes for a beautiful island. Okay, it's 6:40. We've been up, I've cooked, we've had coffee.
Breakfast. We're ready. Yeah.
Where are we headed?
Cap Malheureux, which is Cape Unhappy.
Okay, on the Happy Island, there's a Cape Unhappy.
Or shipwrecks, the fly.
I did see a shipwreck noted on one of the maps. So that we think is the Cape out there at the point. And you can see the beautiful sky and the reflections in the water. And it's not far by boat, but we have to go all the way around the bay. And it might take us an hour, hour and a half.
It's 8.5 kilometers. 8.5 kilometers from here walking.
That's easy for you to say. That's easy for you to say.
Well, I did half of it yesterday, so kind of know a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just keep going and talking.
My strategy now is I can get the bus back.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Every 300-400 meters there's a new bay. Of course, it's all part of a bigger system, and this is only one point on the island, but it's just spectacular. Panoramic views, scenery. It's warm in the afternoon, but the morning's pleasant, and when it heats up in the afternoon, then you get a shower comes, and we're still a little jet lagged coming from India.
Yeah, we're getting used to the time difference.
Yep.
We're almost there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add was the reason it's called Unhappy Cape is because first there were a lot of shipwrecks, so that's not fun. There's a reef out there. And this is where the English, let's make sure that I say this correctly, the English came after the French. And the English came to that not so well defended point instead of where they were expected, and they took over the French and drove them out on that.
Our morning started with this discussion, as it often does. Some theme develops early in the day, and well, that it was the absence of war. We often don't see the actual war. We see it 100 years later, 200 years later.
If you're lucky.
And something came before and affected, like, you know, Olga's Dutch, but she grew up in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That colored her
They were here too,
whole
the Dutch.
existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dutch were here, then the French were here, then the British were here.
In that order. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the Dutch, sorry, but they basically plundered the place.
They got their
all the
independence in 1968, so it's a young, I'll have to look and see what form of government it is, but the people are very sweet and loving, and I don't know about identity because we're looking at our own identity, and
they're all false identities.
Sure.
Ultimately. Everything's false.
I said to the guy yesterday, he goes, "No, I'm this." I said, "Yeah, well, I used to be a bus driver."
Yeah, exactly. And you stop that, and then you do have a crisis. I had one. I'm like, what the heck? I'm the driver. No, you're not. You were the driver. Now you're.
So we come down to those basic questions. You might have heard Carl Sagan or one of those guys say, you know, why am I here? You know, you ask those questions.
Yeah, you should.
And the Socrates one, know thyself.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
The one. Yeah.
So.
Why are you here? Because of karma. Duh.
Yeah. So we go out, we have our day, we meet people, Olga feeds the dogs, and who knows what else is happening. And I'm pretty happy here and grateful.
No, you like it. You actually like it more than I do. I'm still coming along. See, I'm from Bonaire. I know what good water is. I'm sorry, it's quite that. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a water snob.
Yeah, I am. Sometimes. I try not to be, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the reflected light on the water.
Yeah. No, it's
you know, these would be puzzle pictures.
They are. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Grand Bay to whatever Olga said. Well, I'm mostly just enjoying the walk this morning. This is as far as I got yesterday. We had fresh pineapple juice, and it's another boat harbor. And we're still going out that way somewhere. And I think we're about halfway. Well, we're an hour out, and the sign says 5 kilometers.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But I've been looking for an unfurled flag that shows the colors green, yellow, blue, red, and we're coming up on one. So, little milestones and landmarks keep you going. Happy to be here. This is Caravan, the dive shop. Local park. Giant banyan tree. Pizza delivery. And the water's that way. But Olga says we're continuing on. It's a Sunday morning at Caravan Beach. People in the orange outfits are doing cleanup, and we've seen them all around the island. Thank you for that.
So today it's full of people. I guess because it's Saturday, it's weekend.
Oh, it's Saturday. I thought it was Sunday.
Full of
Okay.
people.
Uh-huh. Good.
Yesterday there were like 4 people.
Uh-huh.
So,
So this is locals?
This is, I think. And it's a wonderful beach.
Yeah, very cute.
It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of a cove.
It's
Wraps around.
It's just lovely. And yesterday I walked that and home.
Mm-hmm.
along the coast.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, my goodness, huh? What a
Yep.
change. It's awesome. People are here. Super nice.
Well, we had a short bus ride, and 2 minutes down the way, and Olga says, "Oh, let's get off." But it's well worth it. Don't know which one it is, Shiva or one of those. Hindu temple. I think it stands at least 50 feet tall. I see someone inside, and I think Olga's headed that way. Can we get in?
It's just doing puja. There's a burial ground on that side.
Uh-huh.
It's a Hanuman. Unrecognizable as Hanuman,
No.
actually. But it says it's the Hanuman temple.
It doesn't look like a Hanuman.
It doesn't, but they call it the Hanuman temple. I just read the sign.
Uh-huh.
So I know.
Can be the name of the temple.
Yeah, yeah.
Hindus on one side, Christians on the other. And Olga reminded me that there was a lot of fighting. So one gets a burial plot, the other one gets cremated.
I think we should go in, and because the beach is right there, and then you have the overview.
Well, we'll give it a try. And yes, we made the turn into the cemetery. It said Christian section 2.
This is the northernmost point of the island.
Uh-huh.
There's been a lot of fighting here, and I'm not saying that's what we're seeing, because it's more modern.
No, but there's the point that we came out to see. Cape MacLeod. And there's a reef out there, and there's been shipwrecks. Pretty beautiful. Actually amazing setting. Giant banyan tree here right at the edge of the water.
Wow, this is worth it. Look. fishing. Water looks actually quite clear here.
Mm-hmm.
Coral quite nearby. So this is a good spot.
Yeah, we'll continue around and see the other side.
Well, we walked to Beach Peribert and a little bit beyond, and then we took a bus for the last 2.5 kilometers up to Cap Malheureux. Unhappy Cape. Cape Unhappy. And here we are at the northernmost point of the island, Île Mauritius, and and here we are at the cemetery. We just found someone who died when I was born. Great. Yeah. Now this is called Cap Malheureux because there was a lot of fighting here. And the French lost here against the British. Not only that, because of all the many different reef systems out there, there were a lot of shipwrecks. And that doesn't make people happy, of course. That's very sad. So, hence the name. Wow, and some of these trees are tremendous. That's a whole system of banyan tree, which starts out as basically a parasitic in an existing tree and then grows down and up and eventually ends up strangling the original tree and taking up all the light and nutrients. Also called strangler fig. That's a huge one. Okay, I've seen some big ones, but this whole area here is one forest of strangler fig. And look at that, it's still trying to expand. That's what they do.
So you can catch the local bus out here from Grand Bay, which is already on the north, for about 60 cents. And I think it's about 7 kilometers from Grand Bay, past Beripera. And this is the northern point of the island of Mauritius. Another couple small islands off in that direction.
What a beautiful spot, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. All right, we've reached our destination. Incredible view of the Cape. Dive boat. A few locals. Olga went straight to the water. I don't think she brought her snorkeling gear today. But we're gonna have a nice time just going in for a dip. Truly magical, the play of light here.
Okay, we just arrived at the beach. Cap Malheureux. There's the island. We didn't realize it was an island. We weren't sure whether it was connected to us or not, but it's not, it's an island. And then here is the Notre Dame of Île Maurice. Not sure how old it is, but it is pretty famous for its red roof and history. And this kind of was the goal of today. So we'll have a closer look in a minute. It's very lovely. And the Daniel is sitting over there.
This is the red church, I guess.
Another little church on the beach, the Notre Dame Catholic Chapel, is open. Got a red roof on the outside. Very basic. Wooden benches.
Well, the Notre Dame de Cap Malheureux is beautifully located, isn't it? Look at it. It's famous for its red roof and probably some other things I may not be aware of. Wow. And Daniel just went in there. Ah, in and out. Hi. How is it over there? Is it nice? Uh-huh. Yes, you were. That color really does it with the nice blue ocean. And then the island up front.
And did I mention Mauritius is amazing?